a tag video, and nobody's tagged me. That's okay. Everybody was like, if you want to do this, do it. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so today I wanted to do the Booktuber Bio Tag. Is that what I'm doing? Yes. So, I got this from Book Time with Elvis, and I'll link the video he did and his channel down below. And he said that it was originally a tag created by Jessica's Library Card. I don't think I follow her because I don't recognize that name, so maybe I need to go and check her out. I'm assuming it's a her. Okay, so the first question is, who are you? Share a little bit about yourself as much as you feel comfortable. So, I am Christy. I live in Texas. I have lived in Texas my entire life. I lived in Arkansas for a short time when I went to college. I have 2 children, very young children. The oldest is 5 and the youngest is 2.5. And they are both surprise children. We did not think we could have kids, and surprise, we have 2 now. And which is interesting because I will be 55, I'll be 45, I'll be 45 next month. And I have a 5 and a 2-year-old. And I have friends whose kids are starting to graduate college. So, some of them have grandkids. And so here I am with my toddlers. And anyway. So, a little more about me. I used to work in x-ray. I did x-rays and CTs. I worked in IT in a hospital for a little while. Quit that, came home. I did some doula work. Very little, but I did. But now I mainly stay home and I take care of my kids. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm starting to homeschool my son, which is going really well. Let's see. How much do I want to tell? Yeah, I enjoy, like my channel name says, I enjoy reading. I enjoy crocheting. I've recently started watercolor painting, and I'm really enjoying that. And I'm a big old nerd. I like spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. So, and I've also started getting into graphic art using Procreate. I've been taking some, watching some videos on how to do those things. So, let's see. There was something else I was going to say about me. Oh, just about my reading. I've said this on a couple of videos and in my intro, but I've never been much of a reader. I'm a slow reader. I get easily distracted, and I don't, sorry, I need some water, and I do not have water, and so my mouth is like all sticky sounding, and I hate that. I hate when I watch other people's videos and they're all like, anyway, I've never been much of a reader. I'm a slow reader. I get easily distracted. Before I started this reading, it was very difficult for me to even finish like 2 or 3 books a year. There was a short time in college where one summer I wanted to speed up my reading, and so I read a lot of Christian romance books. I don't necessarily recommend. It's just not my thing anymore. I did like it at the time, but it's not my thing anymore. And so that was a short stint of me actually reading books. But and then like Harry Potter, like I read those. I read a few other books here and there, but nothing really grabbing me and getting me into reading a lot. And then I started embracing audiobooks more, and I started getting a lot of books read, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, or at least I used to, and I still listen to a lot, compared to a lot of people. Somebody's going way too fast in the parking lot and nearly hit another car. Anyway, so last year I wanted a kind of a reading challenge to kind of push me to read more books. And I found the 52 book club challenge, book reading challenge. And they have a different prompt for 52 books that you're trying to read in a year. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. I don't know if I'll get through the whole thing. I doubt very seriously I'll read 52 books. That's insane. But let's see how far I can get. I ended up reading 120 some odd books. It was over 120 books. I used to know exactly how many, but I think it was like 126 or something like that. 120 some odd books. That is crazy. It's crazy for anyone, but it's especially crazy for me, a slow reader and all that. I did read, like, I think one graphic novel that was a physical book. The rest were all audiobooks. I pretty much am an exclusive audiobook listener. So yeah, as far as genres, I'm pretty diverse in my, what I like to read. I love well, actually, there's a question coming up. Hold on, I got to turn my iPad back on, that talks about that. So I'll address that part in a bit. Okay, so question number 2, how long have you been on BookTube? Years and years ago, like 15-ish years ago, like when YouTube was pretty new, I got on YouTube and actually had a fairly successful channel for a time. Now, this was back when 500 subscribers meant you had a pretty popular channel. So, it was before they monetized and stuff. They were starting to monetize towards the end of when I started kind of fading out. But as far as for my book channel, this channel, I've been on about maybe 7 or 8 months. Of course, I've been watching videos a little bit longer than that, probably a good year or so. But I wanted to get on YouTube because I didn't find many people who liked similar books to me. And so I was like, well, I'm sure there's other people who like the books that I like, clearly, you know. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll start a channel. And it's taken me a while to kind of get up. I'm trying to find my stride because I have 2 children and it's hard to film and edit and all that and deal with them. So what kind of books do you love to read? Has BookTube had an effect on what you read? That's question number 3. My tastes range pretty dramatically. My favorites right now are kind of like, you know, your cozy mysteries. I enjoy those for like palate cleansing, I guess. I like sci-fi, historical fiction, straight up history, memoirs, literary fiction, science-ish books, some supernatural-ish books, some. I like some religious nonfiction, and I like some politics, and I like children's. Right now I'm kind of like doing children's books. You know, I'm trying to find good children's books. So I go to the library quite frequently and get a bunch of books, and which has actually ended up costing me more money in the long run because I'll read a book and I'm like, I want this book. This is an amazing book. I want to have this book forever. So I end up buying all these books. So anyway, as far as like, I have some books that I want to be like in my favorites, but I'm kind of new to enjoying them, are like the classics and modern classics. I like a few modern classics, but I'm not a classics reader, and I want to be more of a classics reader. And then graphic novels. I'm just starting to kind of get into the graphic novels thing. I'm not really drawn to like manga and stuff like that. I should give it a chance because I might really like it, but it's just not something that that I'm finding I'm being drawn to. But right now there is a whole, like, I've found a lot of classic and modern classic novels that have been put into graphic novel form, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can get into that. And last year, like, one of my favorite books was called Trinity, and it was a graphic novel explaining the creation of the atomic bomb, but also all the radiation physics that goes along with it. And I love radiation physics. So I'm super into physics, but radiation physics is like, I love it. And having worked in X-ray, I'm interested. It's interesting to me. There are some books genres that I want to like, but I haven't really found many books that I've really enjoyed enough to say that I am a fan of this genre. But like fantasy, I like Lord of the Rings fantasy. I don't like these romantasy books or like the elfish, what do they call it? The fae stuff. Like that, all of that is just too romantic-y, I guess. I don't know. It's not something that I'm into. Also, I don't read many self-help every once in a while, but I'm like, can this just be a YouTube video explaining to me this, or do I have to read a whole book on this? I haven't really read many Westerns, and I kind of want to read a few of those. My grandmother was really into Louis L'Amour. I remember that. I've been trying to read a few more like middle-aged range books. Not middle ages like in the Middle Ages, but like books that are aimed at not a little bit older than children, but not like teens, you know. And then I sometimes kind of like back and forth, like closed door or fade to black kind of romances, and very few of those. I'm just not a romance reader anymore. So there's a few genres that I used to like, but I don't really like anymore, or I haven't been impressed with the last few, but those would be like thrillers. I used to really like thrillers, don't really care for them anymore. YA, just not my thing anymore. I don't like horror as in like slasher horror, or like, there's just not much horror that I like. I like a little bit of supernatural, like a spooky little ghost or something like that, but and I don't like the explicit romance stuff. It's just not for me. I have lots of friends who really like it. Don't judge them. I've read a few. Just not my thing. All right, number 4. This is getting long. What do you enjoy about making BookTube videos? I enjoy sharing what's really impacted me and I've enjoyed, and I want to share it in hopes that I can, you know, help someone find something they enjoy. And then number, 5. What do you not enjoy about making BookTube videos? I'm not really a big fan of editing. I just don't have time really. So, you know, that makes it frustrating. And I'd rather be listening to a book and crocheting than editing a video. So I may start to kind of not edit as much, and see if I can just make more videos and not worry about everything being so polished. Not like any of my videos are that polished, but just not worry about it. Let's see. Number 6, what video on your channel are you most proud of? I don't know. I haven't really done enough to like say I'm proud of this one. So I don't really have an answer for that. Number 7, is there anything you wish was different about BookTube? Okay, so this could kind of go for any area of life, not just BookTube, but it's not even something that I've seen a whole lot on YouTube. But it does exist. So like, I love the diversity of readers. Like, you can find somebody who likes every genre, and I really enjoy that. But and everybody seems to be, for the most part, very nice and get along. But like all communities, there are some bickering that happens, and sometimes that just grows into meanness, and there's just no call for that. Like, I wish there were fewer people wanting to be like the influencer type, and just me more genuine and honest in their reviews, without being like cruel. Like, I want somebody to be honest without being cruel, but also being honest, you know, and genuine. I wish people also weren't so easily offended. I mean, I know that's something I struggle with too. I'm like, But especially if you say you don't like a book, sometimes people get mean about like defending that book. And it's like, hey, you know what? We all like different things. So chill out. Like, there's other things to get upset about in this world. Name 3 books that you have reviewed on your channel that you feel represent who you are as a reader. I just picked 3 books that I enjoyed last year. So Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, The Book Thief by, who is that? I can't remember. The Book Thief. It's amazing. Project Hail Mary, I like that kind of sci-fi. But The Book Thief, I like that kind of historical fiction. And then Anxious People by, gosh, what is his name? I don't know why I didn't write the names down in my notes here. He wrote the man called Uwe. I haven't read that one yet, but anyway, I like those kind of literary fiction books, so thought that might be kind of a hint. Name 3 booktubers whose content inspires you. Okay, so I struggled with this one. I really like Brandon and Taylor at Good Books lately. I love their banter and their personalities. They seem like a family that my family, we could hang out with them and have the best time. Like, they're very much in like the whole, like my kids would love their kids, and the 2 of them, and I crochet, she knits, and like we play board games and video games and talk about books. Like, they're just rough, you know, they're a little more upbeat probably and energetic than my husband and I, because they're probably younger than us. I don't really know. I'm guessing they're younger. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Our personalities and their personality, I think, would be great. If I'm ever in the Vegas area again, which I was not a fan of Vegas when I went to go, but I have a lot of social anxiety, so it was too much stimulation, and but if I ever go back, I'm going to have to hang out with them. Okay. Then I like Tristan and the Classics. I've just started watching his videos, and he has really made me want to start reading more classics. And I want to understand what it is about these books that have like stood the test of time. I want to know what the wisdom is that people have gotten from these books, and I just want to enjoy reading them. And then I can't not mention the 52 Book Club. And it's more of a channel that's run for their organization that runs the challenge. But, I mean, they inspired me to start reading more last year, so I got to mention them. So then, share the love. It can be challenging to find your audience. Name 3 booktubers you think need more hype. I broke the rules. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, on here. I kind of went through the people that I watch, and I mentioned people who had like maybe less than like 500-ish subscribers. 1 or 2 of these people were over that, but I have reasons for liking them. So I'll just mention some of them, and then some of them I want to talk more about. Bookish Kelly. Mary Andrea, I think is how you say her name. I think she lives in here in Texas too. I might have to find out where she lives sometime and do a meetup or something. By Asha Naila, I think. Oh, I probably butchered her name. I watched one of her videos this morning. I was like, I need to, like, these people, I haven't really watched very many of their videos, but I've kind of enjoyed them. Curious Cat, Literary Layer, and then the last 3, actually, I had something to say about. So, John's Book Reviews. He is a young man living in Nigeria, and I love hearing his perspective on books. He reads a lot of, like, books by American authors, and I like to hear his perspective as somebody who isn't from, like, a Western country, or, you know, from a non-Western country. It's interesting to hear his perspective on those books. And then Marty Dodson, I found him, he doesn't have very many videos up or anything, but I think I followed him on like Instagram or Blue Sky or Threads or something, I don't know. And he has been doing he had shared a book about a banned children's book. And I was like, why in the world is that book banned? So I've watched a couple of his videos, and so I think he could, if you know, I'd love to hear more about the books that he's talking about. And then Book Buds, I think they have more subscribers than I was originally looking for, but they are the cutest couple. They have such a fun personalities, and I could hang out with them. So, all right, that is a long video, and I am sorry. I ramble sometimes. So, have a nice day. I'm about to go into Lowe's and see if I can find some more flowers for my garden, even though it's like 60 degrees outside and super windy. And getting outside and planting flowers is not something I want to do right now. But I have a day to go do some errands without my children, so I'm going to go do that. Talk to you later.